and white and honest conversation. Here we are with the Christmas edition, but we don't have any gifts for you. The only gift you're going to find is basically coal in your stocking from Donald Trump. I believe the quote from Donald Trump was, "Nobody's getting shit this year." That's his motto. You don't need 34 dolls and all these pencils. He must suck as a gift giver, now that I think about it. Wow. The moron is still alive, still kicking. I'm so tired of seeing updates on Trump's health on the World Wide Web. Just let me know when that fucker is gone. That's all I want to know. I don't want to see anything about how bad he looks or how bad he feels. Come on, cholesterol, do your thing. And you other bloggers out there, just hit me when he's gone. Brock Ellis joins us now from the beautiful, comfortable confines of the Upper Hudson River Valley. And Brock, as we inch ever so close to Christmas and the new year, we are really concerned about these premiums, these insurance spikes that are going to just throw people's lives. I mean, I've seen, you know, premiums that are going to triple, right? So what are you going to do without? That's the huge question for families right now. You know, some businesses that are just getting by, small business is the engine of America, right? And those are the people we are just going to hack up with these freaking insurance premium spikes.
But no one's invested in small businesses, right? That's the thing, right? It's big businesses where the big money is, so they get the benefits, they get the perks, they get the rules and regulations that play to their advantage. And small business is pretty much left to fend for themselves. I mean, I mean, to me, it's a downbeat holiday season, right? I mean, maybe that's just because I'm so disappointed in America that it's hard to get, fired up about. I mean, it'd be great to see family and all that, but it just doesn't. It's not a feel great, celebratory environment.
How
In
could it be?
How could it be, right? Like, so I was surprised to see some chatter out today that, that it's been a good holiday season. I don't know if that was just backfill to try to justify the GDP numbers that came out that seemed inflated and were probably bullshit. And I, for one,
I don't
believe
believe it.
believe nothing that comes out of this administration because I know they fired all the people that put out honest slash bad news like 4 or 5 months ago. So why am I
Right,
going to think the new people in the seat are going to put out an honest number? If they
right.
if the number's not favorable, they get fired. Like so they're
I,
just making a decision. Do I, what number do I put on the page here? And it just
right.
bothers me that America just rolls along with it. It's not just questioned right off the bat. It's just kind of reported as if it was like fact. And it's like Trump's a pathological liar. He's
Yeah.
set that tone from the top, which means the
Yep.
entire administration's liars. I mean, they told us yesterday we can't have wind farms because it's national security and it interferes with the RF signals or something like that, right? Like every day there's a new lie. Today, like Witkoff and Jared and some other Yahoo were the Russian envoy in Florida and came out with a statement that Russia's committed to peace. Oh, really? They started a war like 3 years ago and haven't let up. What do you mean they're committed to peace in Ukraine? No, they fucking aren't. That's just a lie. And we're just
Yeah.
being fed lies everywhere,
Yep.
every day, all the time. And I'm just frustrated when there isn't just consistent, constant pushback.
Yeah.
And we don't
Um,
we don't get it.
yeah. It's sad that truth um, also died under 1.0 and the fake news thing, and they are just killing all our institutional norms and the institutions that we used to trust. So there was a financial report coming on. I think it was CNN or CNBC. I had to change it. I was like, why would I listen? I don't believe it. right? I know they're fudging the numbers, they're cooking the books, they're doing whatever they got to do to to make their narrative work. And it's sad that we can't trust our government. When our government is not worth our trust, is it worth preserving?
Ooh.
I don't see how this regime works for anyone, not even its supporters.
Hopefully they're killing it. So that was a good question. I don't know if it's worth saving, but think about like today's, lie of the day, right? Was all about around the Epstein files, right? So they're
Yep.
being forced to disclose more documents. They redacted like crazy. We know they put millions of dollars to staff to redact to get the names out of there. So what's come out is as untransparent as possible, right? They're doing the
Right.
minimum to not, break the law, right? Because Pam Bondi may be thinking 5 years down the road, going, "Holy shit, I don't want to be in a federal penitentiary." But then they come out and say that a whole bunch of the files are a lie and are false. So because they
Right.
couldn't redact them fast enough, or some things slipped out that implicated Trump, now they're saying that all the files are fabricated, so now we're supposed to believe that lie? I mean, it just never ends. There is no truth anywhere to be found. Hopefully
And
we
there's
can
no
find it in
bottom.
each other, but we can't find it in anything coming from an official source.
Yeah, and there's no bottom. Um, these people are disgusting. Pam Bondi's been involved with this thing since the beginning. I'm talking about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
She's been there since the beginning when this whole shit show started down in Florida. When Alex Acosta gave that some bitch, Jeffrey Epstein, the sweetheart deal of a lifetime and let him do what, weekends? And basically gave him a key to his cell. Say, hey, keep your head down when you're pulling out of the driveway there so nobody sees you leaving. I mean, it's pathetic what they've been able to get away with. And meanwhile, you know, we've been putting, when we talk about the civil rights movement, we put people who just wanted to be a part of the American society and wanted to strive for a piece of the American dream. We locked them up. They were framed as terrorists. Martin Luther King, Hosea Williams, the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers started that organization with a morning breakfast drive. If you haven't seen Eyes on the Prize, White America, please spend the time, take the time to look at a really well told story of the civil rights movement. And as an African American, I find it very hard to swallow that not only is Donald Trump able to get away with crimes in broad daylight, but so are all his minions. They're all getting away with this shit. Now the good news is the pressure is starting to crack and cause fissures in, what seemed to be, an impenetrable wall. The Heritage Foundation's got people running for higher ground. Marjorie Taylor Greene's cutting bait. You can't find Nancy Mace anywhere. People are hauling ass. Massey leading the charge on the Epstein files. I think people have hit their limit with this guy. I don't know why they're afraid of him. At best, he's soft and squishy. Um, he couldn't eat. I mean, he couldn't throw a fart in a disco. I
I
mean,
think
why do
they
we care?
I think they worry that the worst of the worst follow him. That, the violent wing, the crazies, see him as a, useful idiot that leads a movement that they're total believers in, that, gives them free reign to try to intimidate and take power in America. So the rest of, MAGA is worried that Trump can unleash these dogs on them. That's at least my thought on where the fear comes from. Um, it was funny how you're saying about the Heritage Foundation, a bunch of those who are the worst of the worst, who like wrote, they're
Yes.
like Project 2025 authors. These are like white supremacists to the core. They've had a
Yes.
little bit of a crack right over anti-Semitism, right? Like how much do they hate Jews at what level? Um, but apparently a bunch of them are peeling off and kind of teaming back up with Mike Pence. Like, is Pence actually hovering out there thinking about a presidential run? Does he think he's got the juice to come back into the picture after how
If
weak he was?
if you're Mike Pence, do you want to be associated with folks from the Heritage Foundation while you're trying to run a nationwide campaign for president?
Hey, look, Pence is very religious. He's only a step away from the Christo-fascism. He just happens to really believe that religious shit. Like he's like
Right.
fucking hardcore. So, and he has nothing else to do with his life. All he knows is politics. I think he'll, as he did by being Trump's wingman, he'll cut any deal and make any concession to be back in the game. I just
Well,
I just think that he's so hated by America that he's kidding himself. But
yeah,
that's who a bunch of these heritage guys are going to team up with.
right. But here's the thing, Brock, and riddle me this, Batman. Um, if you're teaming, what's the difference? Because this is what I'm going to ask if I'm on the podium on the debate stage across from you. I'm asking Mike Pence, what's the difference between the neo-Nazi Christo-fascist wing of your party and you as a religious zealot? I mean, there's that much space, right? I mean, when we talk about, the movement that
Yeah,
is underfoot. It's a white supremacy movement. What separates, MAGA Mike Pence and from it? Pence, rather.
yeah. What makes Pence different than Mike Johnson, right? They're both like
Right.
cloak themselves in religion, but then will basically do anything for power. I don't know how
Right.
he would answer it. He's just kind of a light version. Um, yeah, I don't know what his answer would be. I don't. He would just try to dance around it because really
Right.
his true answer is like he doesn't think about it or care. He just wants to be in the game and in the power, right? Like so
Right.
many of them. So I don't think they would just kind of just try to get through the question. But think about Pence, Ted Cruz is talking about running, JD Vance. So all these guys are, I think Tucker Carlson's looming. Like,
Yeah.
there's going to be like Rubio, there's going to be like 20 people again who want to run in 2028. MTG.
Yeah.
And I just wonder how they're going to deal with the fact that Trump will keep hinting at that he's going to stay. Like,
Yeah. And out of all of those names, there are no good ones.
no. Oh, it's the
There are no good ones.
worst lineup in American history.
Yeah. Um, so, America is stuck, basically. I mean, either you're going for the white supremacy because white women scare us. We don't know which way they're going to lean. Are they going to lead toward decent society? I don't understand how the maternal instincts lead toward white supremacy, but that's above my pay grade. I'm
Mark,
just
we
the
might get a break between older white women and younger white women because younger white women seem to be peeling away from MAGA, and
yeah,
older white women have stayed entrenched as
absolutely.
as
And go to the voting
advocates.
booth.
Yeah,
And
when it
go to
comes
the
to
voting
voting.
booth. Yeah. Um, all right, so we got the 1965 Voting Rights Act that is on thin ice. We're waiting for a Supreme Court um, decision on that and where that's going to go. So, is that going to impact our fall elections in 26? Or do they wait? Because Trump wants that decision made early, right? They want that. They want the presidential power decision made early. They want what else are they doing? Are they doing a gay marriage? Did they take up a gay marriage
I
case? I
don't know if
forget
they
what
took it. I don't know if they took it up or they passed. I think they passed on it. In the last session.
but isn't there a
Um,
presidential power case that they've taken up as well?
Look, the Voting Rights Act's the biggest one because it's just going to make it easier for them to suppress the vote, and it's going to make it
Discriminate.
easier
Yep.
for them to have an election that they know they can still win, even though the polls have swung like 20 points away from them.
Right.
Right? That just means they're going to have to suppress 21% of the of the Democratic
Yeah.
vote or the independent vote or the
And
non-MAGA
they're willing to
vote.
do it.
So it's just going to dictate how deep they're going to have to cut and how much they're going to have to try to suppress, you know, the ability and the right to vote,
Yeah.
and for them to continue to skate through. I mean, we both think that canceling elections would lead to probably riots in the streets. But if
Right.
it's just a heavily suppressed vote with massive, you know, voter turnaway, and ballots rejected, so that, you know, MAGA candidates can squeak by in low turnout elections, I mean, that's probably what they're going to try to engineer first. And
Right.
then they would cancel them if they didn't think that they could pull that off.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see. I mean, that's the road we're going down. And complacent white America, I have no confidence in 2026 that complacent white America is going to get riled up enough to fight against any of this shit. Because they'll just be like,
Yeah.
Voting Rights Act, that just affects black people. It doesn't rock my world. Just the other guys getting squeezed.
Yeah. Again, we need an issue that riles up white America, um, which is sad because, I mean, how many times have we heard the old sports cliche, you're only as good as your weakest link? And, while we continue to suppress people, but again, our weakest link is who those 83 billionaires in our country make the most money off of, right? The oligarchs that are in charge and running this country. Um, Roland Martin, by the way, did a nice little piece about how these oligarchs are controlling the NFL. So take a look at that when you get a moment. Very interesting. Um, you know, Basically is a microcosm of society. And now they want to go to 18 games. You've already got Patrick Mahomes, the best offensive player in the game, and Micah Parsons, one of the best defensive players in the game, out for the rest of the season
Yeah,
with
players can't
ACL.
last the season. I mean, they're
No,
killing them. They don't. Yeah, but they don't care. Okay, I'm gonna look at that because I felt that all along till the NFL is broken. And I
right.
was like, I'm like, America can never have a race reckoning. Like, it's too emblematic of society. And I felt that all along, and we saw that loud and clear when the Kaepernick scenario came up. How
Yep.
the NFL protected the shield, how kneeling during the anthem became the most, divisive, treasonous act you could
Yep.
possibly do, you know. And meanwhile, right, MAGA has dismantled America, like voting and democracy and a true dismantling, So it just plays into the fraud and the lies we're being spoon fed, every day. So my
Yes.
question to you, going back to, what is really topic A, I know you brought up
Mhm.
the fact that the healthcare premium is going to start crushing people in like 11 days, and we're going to start to hear like cries, right, from the Midwest, from rural America, as people get absolutely economically crushed. You think anyone's going to care about what the GDP number is when they get a healthcare bill for like $2,500, which was like $600 last year, and they can't
Right.
fucking pay for food? Is Trump and Bondi and Blanche, are they going to be able to engineer a bullshit campaign that's going to satisfy America on these Epstein files? Because every file that comes out, it's just more incriminating and it's more obvious of Trump's deep involvement, even with the massive effort to try to keep him at arm's length.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it because, the Epstein files people, I mean, the MAGA people are already stating that the Epstein files are an impeachable offense and they want the Don the Con impeached because of the shenanigans with these files.
This is
And
rank and file
I'm not
MAGA. You telling me this is rank and file MAGA? This is not any politician who said that yet, right? Because
no,
Massey and
no, this is
Rokana have
rank
only gone
file.
up to rank and file MAGA is is making
The
that much
people.
noise. They've gone to that level
Yeah.
already because these files have not been disclosed. Is that what you're saying?
Well, remember, this is where they live, bro. Remember, I told you this thing wouldn't go away. I'm trying to find the video for you. Um, remember, I told you this wasn't going away. Um, and that's because these people live for these conspiracy theories. They need them. It's like oxygen for them. And, and think about Brock. Remember when those young ladies held up those pictures of themselves, right? Like the picture with Virginia Giuffre, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Prince Andrew. She looks so pathetically young. Like, what is wrong with you? Like you need to be in prison, and it's just wrong on so many levels. Um, so with the Epstein files and MAGA screaming for impeachment, it's only going to get louder. It's only going to get louder, in my estimation, because that's where they live.
I mean, I guess I'm like, I can only hope, right? I want the heat to get turned up, and
Well,
I love the way Trump reacts so poorly to it, right? Like last night, he had that crazy rage rant about
right,
the New York Times calling him an enemy of the people, right? Which is just a flat out threat once again against the media. And I wish the Times would act like an adversarial force and not try to play middle of the road because they're getting treated like an adversarial force anyway. Um, yeah,
right.
it just triggers Trump so much because he knows how guilty he is. He knows that this has to be covered up, right? He knows
Yes.
it can't, nothing can slip out. He knows the photos that are already out there are damaging and incriminating. He knows
Yeah.
the lawsuits that have been buried and the threats that he's had to make over the years to keep this quiet. No one knows better than him how implicated he is with Epstein. And it's obvious, right? Epstein's it's written
Yeah.
right in front of you, and then they're just trying to tell us now that this is fabricated emails and fake information, and we just
Right.
know it's bullshit. I just hope MAGA world knows it's bullshit. You're telling me at least a portion of it is seeing what they're seeing so far and seeing the suppression of the entire file and coming to the conclusion that Trump's guilty. And that's what you're telling me. I mean, I'm only hoping. I mean, is it possible?
Yeah.
All right. All right. I mean, I want MAGA to fall apart. I want them to have a civil war over the Epstein files. I want Rokana
Yeah.
and Massey to push this issue and let's put Bondi, under the gun and see if other, MAGA politicians are willing to maybe blame her as a strategy for insulating Trump. I don't know. But I just
Right.
want the heat to get turned up. And all of this is just moving too slow for me.
Yeah. Yeah. You and me both, brother. Trying to get Marjorie Greene's tweet from earlier today, basically ripping Trump, um, for trying to hide and protect, the PPP, the Pedophile Protection Program. Um, and they deserve to be ripped for it.
Is she going to
Dan
go on the
Bondi,
floor? Is she
all
going to
the
go on the? I'm sorry. Is she going to go on the floor and name names like she said she might? She's only got like 10 days left.
telephone tough guy. what, 2 weeks? Yeah, yeah. Let's hope so. But she's right now. She's a keyboard warrior, telephone tough guy. We need more than that. We need somebody to bring some articles of impeachment. At the very least, impeach Bondi and Patel. You know they're complicit in this, right? Start charging somebody. You know, start holding people in contempt. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Only evil people would hide this and protect those who participated. I pray for these women. Talking about, the survivors. I guess one put an account on what's formerly known as Twitter, where she says she was kept in stalls and raped as a child by Epstein. She was blindfolded and taken, to a place with horse-like stalls. And Epstein even said that she was an animal and he was going to treat her like an animal. This came out in the latest batch of emails and such. I mean, it's bad, bro. It's bad. And you know what? The legacy media is asleep at the wheel, because we know this is factual. They don't want to report on it because it's not convenient to the Trumpster. Nobody wants to get on his bad side because, we need him to make. You don't need Donald Trump on your air. You don't need his cabinet members on your air lying to you. We used to care about that in the media industry. We used to not give a shit if somebody was lying to us or if we thought they couldn't add any value or any truth to the story we reported on. 60 Minutes and that 60 Minutes segment producer, says they went through the entire process, the vetting, the lawyers, the standards and practices people. Everybody got to sign off on it, right? So as soon as it was done, and I've done investigative pieces before, and it comes down to the word, right? With these lawyers, when it comes to protecting your interests. And CBS is trying not to get sued, but they've got a hell of a story, right? From two men that were thrown in what amounts to a dungeon and beaten every half hour. The story was horrific. The story was horrific. And it ran in Canada. Thank goodness, elbows up, let her rip. I love Canada.
The story ended up getting huge exposure, right? Ton of streams, so a lot of people watched it anyway. Yeah, CBS is dead, right? It's over. The employees that are still there
Done for.
are in denial. It's sad for them. It's probably hard to find another job, but this is just like what happened to the Washington Post. You knew the Washington Post was over. The democracy dies in the dark thing was total bullshit, and they were not going to have journalistic integrity anymore.
Right.
Now CBS you've just lost the journalistic integrity. You've said it doesn't matter, and for anyone working there, now they're tainted. No one's going to believe any more of the stories. There's no reason to watch 60 Minutes ever again or any news report. I mean, I'll totally boycott CBS across the board, but certainly no reason to listen to any news report that comes out of CBS, because they've just announced to us that the truth doesn't matter. The story doesn't matter. It's, what's in their economic interest, right? We're just a business and we're going to play with the news. Just, are we making money or not making money? So to me, they're done. And for the employees there, you all have to leave. You have to leave. If your journalistic integrity matters, maybe you don't have to leave tomorrow. I get it. I don't want you to go bankrupt or lose your house. You can stay there a little bit while you're getting your ducks in a row, but you have to leave. If it matters to you at all to have journalistic integrity, it's gone. You can't have it working for a company where the message from the top down is a censorship message and we're going to do what's best for the administration and our pocketbook, not for truth. So
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we go, I'd like to know, why isn't Pam Bondi being held in contempt when she had till midnight to produce, to midnight on the 19th to produce all the documents? She did not do it. She needs to be held in contempt. The question is, by whom?
By whom? In what court?
Right. Well, if we get a kangaroo, if we get any kind of court, I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
please,
it
somebody
just it
lock
goes
her up.
back to the no mechanism for
Jesus.
enforcement.
All right, you got a quick hit for me?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
speaking of going through silos, because I was watching the P. Diddy documentary, my wife over my shoulder was like, "What are you watching?" Ended up watching, so she did get me to watch episodes 3 and 4 last night. And like the
Uh-huh.
sad reality is that the P. Diddy story, like it mirrors the Epstein story, right? It was just like
Yes.
a classic case of a lot of things, but abuse of women is right at the core of the story,
Yep.
and a justice system that doesn't believe the women once
Yep.
again. And it was like the same, he gets a slap on the wrist. Yeah, he'll be in jail for, in the end, a couple of years. Who knows? Maybe he'll even get pardoned in the interim. And just
Right.
another guy who got away with a lot of abuse of women. I mean, the
Yep.
story just plays over and over, and this one crosses racial boundaries, right? Like, Epstein was
Yes.
abusing young white girls, and P. Diddy was abusing black women. And it's
White
kind of
women too.
sad
He
when
didn't
you hear the
discriminate.
jurors interviewed, and they're just kind of like, well, that didn't sound credible that he put a gun to her head and, and threatened her and kidnapped her and then kicked the girlfriend. Like, that didn't sound credible. Why? You can't believe that that could have been done. Like, it's clear pattern of behavior.
You didn't see the video? I
Yeah.
mean, everyone had seen the video. They didn't
Yeah.
have to play the video in court of him, beating Cassie in the hallway of that. The question is, you know, to hell with that hotel chain. Why would you let him purchase that video from you so it never saw the light of day? I mean, here it is 6 years, 7 years later that we're just now seeing that
Yeah.
video.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable what money and power can do for you.
But once you've seen that, you're like, well, why would you not believe any story, right? And it's just like with
Yes,
the Trump, with the 30 women that accused him. How is there even a question
right.
that it's true? I get it. If it's one person and one, you can play the he said, she said, misinterpretation,
Right.
this, that. But come on, once it lines up with multiple people, and then once you get into the dozens, it's like, come on.
Yep. Where
It's
there's
just so
smoke, there's
fucking
fire.
obvious.
There's
So.
smoke, there's fire. Yeah. It's sad. It is what it is, bro.
And as
Um,
a side story to my quick hit, remember the movie Get Him to the Greek,
yeah.
starring Jonah Hill and
Yeah.
Russell Brand and P. Diddy, where he basically played himself, right?
Right.
Russell Brand was accused of yet another sexual assault today.
Where there's
After,
smoke, there's fire.
yeah, imagine that fucking being a woman on the set in that fucking movie with
Oh,
those
yeah.
yahoos
With those
fucking running
twos.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Russell Brand, who'd become MAGA and was at Turning Point, just got hit with another couple of sexual
Couldn't
assault
happen to a nicer guy.
allegations.
Fuck him.
What do you got
Hope
for
it's
me?
Greta Thunberg picked up today, arrested, supporting some pro-Palestinian strikers. They were staging a hunger strike to protest the imprisonment while awaiting trial on charges related to a series of earlier demonstrations. So these pro-Palestine supporters and activists were arrested. Greta went out to support them, and they cuffed her. But I love Greta. She never stops fighting for what's right. Um, and we can leave it at that. The whole Palestinian thing. You know, we can go down that rabbit hole, but we'd be on all night.
So those activists and Greta aren't on board with Jared's 24-page PowerPoint of the tech hub in the big thing, and then the parking lot and the golf courses on the water.
Yeah.
While the Palestinians
I'm gonna take a wild
while
guess.
the Palestinians are asked to leave and to go to either Egypt or Lebanon, so this can become a waterside
In
resort.
reality, yeah, I'm gonna take a wild guess at this one. I'm gonna say no. No
Geez,
soup for you.
I wonder why. I wonder why Jared's PowerPoint was probably so impressive.
Went over like a lead balloon. And
Okay.
they were doing. I also caught a piece on YouTube this morning about Don Jr., Don the Con Jr., and his corruption just running through the roof. So yeah, man, the corruption still happens. Crazy is still winning, and we're just sitting here taking it. And you know, I hate it for us. And you know, I wish we did better as a country, but it is what it is.
It is what it is, but it doesn't have to be that. We can decide to act differently any day.
Right.
And
It's a good place to end
that
it.
better start tomorrow.
Yes, sir. All right, my friend.
Mark,
Have a
always a
blessed
pleasure. I will talk to you tomorrow. We'll do a special Christmas Eve
good.
edition.
Sounds good, my friend.
All right.
Peace.
Shalom.